The humid air of the city sat heavy on Marcus as he stepped into the fluorescent hum of the 24-hour bodega. It was 3 a.m., and the only sound was the low drone of the refrigeration units. Marcus was a large man, broad-shouldered and carrying a heavy frame that made every step a deliberate effort. He headed straight for the back. He didn't have a wallet, just a heavy silence in his pockets where the change should have been. His daughter's fever had broken an hour ago, and she was crying for the one thing he didn't have: milk. Marcus grabbed a gallon of 2%, tucked it under his arm, and made for the door. He didn't look at the clerk. He didn't run. His body wasn't built for sprinting. He just walked out into the thick night air, his heart hammering against his ribs like a trapped bird. He was only 2 blocks away when the strobe of red and blue sliced through the darkness. The screech of tires echoed off the brick tenements. Drop it. Get on the ground. The command was a roar. Marcus froze. He looked at the plastic jug in his hand, then at the 2 officers stepping out of the cruiser, their shadows elongated and jagged under the streetlights. He tried to speak, to explain the empty fridge and the crying child, but the words caught in his throat. I said, "Get down." Marcus began to lower himself, his knees popping under his weight. But to the officers, his slow, labored movements looked like hesitation, or worse, resistance. Before Marcus could get his chest to the pavement, the first strike landed. A telescopic nightstick cracked against his shoulder blade. The pain was immediate and blinding. Stop resisting. Marcus groaned, his large frame collapsing fully onto the concrete. He curled into a ball, trying to protect his head. The strikes came in a rhythmic, sickening cadence, the dull thud of wood and metal against flesh. The first hit caught him in the ribs, knocking the wind out of him. The second hit struck his thigh, a searing pain that made his leg go numb. The third hit glanced off his forearm as he tried to shield his face. He stayed silent, his face pressed against the rough asphalt, the cold spill of the now broken milk carton soaking into his shirt. The white liquid swirled with the dark grime of the gutter. The rain began to fall just as the handcuffs clicked shut. Marcus lay there, breathless and bruised, the adrenaline fading into a dull, pulsing ache. The officers stood over him, chests heaving, their flashlights cutting through the mist. They hauled him up by his arms, his heavy boots dragging on the ground as they led him toward the car. On the sidewalk behind them lay the flattened plastic jug, empty and discarded, a small price for the violence that had just unfolded in the dark.